Welcome back to Ninja of the Seas. You guys asked, we are delighted to deliver. This one is about Gorosei and what is happening behind the scenes of One Piece. So, without any further ado, let's get started. For decades within the world of One Piece, the Gorosei, those 5 seemingly ageless stoic men seated atop the world, have been perceived as the pinnacle of authority within the world government. They speak with absolute command, their words shaping the fate of nations. They decide who lives, who dies, and what knowledge is too dangerous for the world to bear. But recent revelations have shifted the ground beneath our feet. The truth is becoming clearer with each arc. The Gorosei are not the ones pulling all the strings. They are puppets, and someone else is holding the strings in the shadows. The clearest indicator of this is 𝐸𝐻, the shadowy figure who sits upon the empty throne, a throne that was supposedly meant to remain forever vacant, a symbol that no single person rules the world. But 𝐸𝐻's mere presence there shatters that illusion. More importantly, it places the Gorosei beneath them. We've seen it directly. The 5 elders bow to 𝐸𝐻. They kneel without hesitation. These are men who command admirals, kings, and armies with a whisper, and yet they defer entirely to this mysterious being cloaked in shadows and secrecy. This isn't shared power, it's submission. But 𝐸𝐻's existence raises a far more dangerous question. How long has this deception been in place? The Gorosei act as the visible face of tyranny, maintaining order and enforcing silence through fear. But perhaps that was always their role. Not as rulers, but as distractions. Their very visibility makes them the perfect scapegoats. If rebellion comes, let it come for the elders. Let the world believe these 5 are at the top, while 𝐸𝐻 remains untouched, unknown, and unreachable. When we look at how the world government reacts to the D clan, the Void Century, and the poneglyphs, a pattern begins to emerge. It's not fear of rebellion, it's fear of remembrance. Someone has gone to extraordinary lengths to erase history, an entire century wiped clean, civilizations buried, scholars massacred for simply asking questions. The destruction of Ohara wasn't about preventing knowledge from spreading, it was about protecting whoever resides in that final shadow. The one secret even the Gorosei would die to protect. 𝐸𝐻, cloaked in symbolism and ancient power, appears less as a monarch and more like a god-king of an older era. Their strange silhouette, inhuman presence, and ability to sit atop the world's greatest seat of power without being challenged hints that they are not bound by the laws of time like the others. Are they an immortal remnant of the Void Century? A survivor of the war against the ancient kingdom? Or perhaps a being created to rule, preserved through lost technology or devil fruit power? And yet, even 𝐸𝐻 might not be alone. There are hints throughout the story that something even older, even deeper than 𝐸𝐻, may exist beneath the surface. Consider the strange behavior of the Gorosei in the recent chapters. When communicating with 𝐸𝐻, they don't just obey, they seem aware of something sacred, terrified, reverent, like priests, not politicians. It's almost cult-like, a devotion that transcends power and enters the realm of worship. This opens the possibility that 𝐸𝐻 themselves might serve an even older force, a forgotten weapon, a deity from the old world, or a metaphysical truth tied to the ancient kingdom. We also have to consider the 5 elders' strange immortality. They haven't aged in decades. Eyewitness accounts, like those from Ohara or Vegapunk's files, suggest they've been around far longer than they should. Are they using the same method of longevity as 𝐸𝐻? If so, who granted it to them? The 𝐽𝐽 no Mi's perpetual youth surgery has been referenced before, but could there be another source? Something like ancient technology, or even the resurrection-based powers we've seen hinted at with characters like Brook and the revived Lunarians? These immortals at the top of the world, serving an unseen god, orchestrating the greatest cover-up in history. It's no longer a theory. It's becoming reality. The destruction of Lulusia Kingdom is a terrifying testament to that. With a power beyond comprehension, possibly one of the ancient weapons, 𝐸𝐻 erased an entire island from existence. No explanation, no hesitation. That's not governance, that's divine judgment. And yet, the public doesn't know. The truth of Lulusia was buried in moments. The Gorosei blamed it on a natural disaster, further proving their role as the PR face of this regime. They're the ones who justify the lies, craft the narratives, and clean up the mess, all while protecting the one true ruler behind the curtain. 𝐸𝐻's connection to ancient symbols like the giant straw hat in Mary Dwase, preserved in a freezing chamber like a relic, hints at a long-standing rivalry with Joy Boy. This war isn't about pirates versus marines. It's not even about kings versus revolutionaries. It's about an ancient feud, two opposing ideologies that span 1,000 years. Joy Boy's legacy of freedom versus Imu's eternal control. As the final war draws near, the mask is beginning to slip. The revolutionary army is closing in. Vegapunk's message threatens to expose the truth. Luffy and the Straw Hats are approaching the heart of the storm. And slowly, Imu is beginning to act more boldly, a sign that the one in the shadows is preparing to step into the light. But here's the most important part. If the Gorosei are puppets, then cutting their strings won't end the war. It will only expose what they've been hiding. And when that moment comes, when Imu's full identity and purpose are revealed, it may shake the world more violently than any ancient weapon ever could. The world of One Piece is not just a tale of adventure. It's a story about truth, power, and who gets to decide both. And in that story, the true villain has been watching from behind the curtain, waiting for the world to forget. But the past is no longer silent. It's screaming back. We have come to the end of this one. See you on the next one.